The following program is sponsored by AmeriLife of Central Florida.
Just ahead on Retirement Your Way with AmeriLife of Central Florida. The decisions you make now can affect your loved ones for generations to come. Today's show is all about legacy planning. Plus, Bradley and Madison will be along to tell us how they were able to help someone solve their financial issues recently. And we'll test your financial knowledge with another edition of a game we call Right or Wrong. Retirement Your Way starts now. Hello and welcome to Retirement Your Way. I'm Matt McClure. Thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate you being a part of things. I am here once again with Bradley and Madison Harden from AmeriLife of Central Florida. Thanks to you both, of course, for being here as you are each and every time, sharing your wisdom with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, Matt.
Well, it's going to be a lot of great conversations that we're going to have today. Before we kind of get into sort of the meat of that whole conversation that we're going to have, tell our viewers a little bit about yourselves and why you like doing what you do so much.
So together combined, we have 17 years of experience helping clients navigate retirement safely. And we've really just built our business foundation on transparency, collaboration, and educating our clients so they can make the best decisions for their unique retirement plan.
Really is what it's all about.
Right, and we've only ever done this with AmeriLife. You know, AmeriLife started in 1971 on the west coast of Florida, and so we have the ability to know what a Florida retirement looks like and what that feels like and how that's transpired over the last 50 years of us being in business. And, you know, we're just really happy to be with AmeriLife and excited to help you guys today.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of, to talk about and to get into here. And, it's the conversation kind of is going to focus on this particular episode of the show around something that can be a little bit difficult to discuss, right? Planning for the end of your life. It's tough discussion to have. Your family doesn't want to think about life without you. They may choose not to even make a plan to avoid having hard or kind of uncomfortable conversations. But the reality is that making a plan for the end of your life actually protects your family. Mm-hmm. So the question that I have for both of you as we kind of start off this part of the show is, why is legacy planning so important no matter who you are, really?
It's important because it gives directions and peace of mind knowing that there's already a plan in place. And we never know when that time is going to come of us passing away, but if we can at least have a plan to protect our assets, our family, our valuables, and again, our whole goal is to help you live a longer, healthier life at AmeriLife. And so by talking about something that is uncomfortable really helps people know that their final wishes are going to be carried out.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too that if you don't make a plan, the old saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? And that really kind of is true when it comes to a legacy plan, because I think it was sort of alluded to, no matter who you are and no matter where you along the journey of life you might be and the size of your family and the size of the estate and all of those sorts of different considerations which go into tailoring a plan specifically for you. But no matter what all those things actually are, you should really make a legacy plan, because that is going to give that peace of mind. And I think it's going to be one of the greatest gifts that you as someone, if you have children, can give to those children, is planning for yourself, because then they're not going to have to worry about you. Then you're going to take care of also having this legacy plan in place so that they don't have to worry about what happens to all of your stuff and all of the things. Because if you don't make that plan, then it's just kind of be up to the state really to decide.
Right. And we've all unfortunately had to suffer the loss of a loved one. And the last thing you want to be doing when you're grieving and going through your emotional process is sorting through paperwork and trying to find policies and things and figuring out who gets what and where. And so that's something that we help our clients with all the time, is not only creating that initial estate plan, which is not just saved for someone with a high dollar estate, it's for everyone, is making those adjustments, making those changes, updating those beneficiaries, making sure that addresses and birthdays and all the information is correct, because without that, the things aren't going to go where you wanted them to. And that's the whole point of saving, is that the money goes where it's supposed to. So that's something that we help our clients with a lot, since, living in Florida, it is a lot of people that retired here from other states. And so family members may not be just around the corner close by to help you out. So we really pride ourselves on being that person for our clients.
Yeah. And really, making that connection with them and letting them know that you are there looking out for their best interests. And that's really what it boils down to, is that you will always have the client's best interest in mind, no matter, which part of life you're planning for.
Right. And not every legacy plan is the same. We've met with folks that they are worried more about themselves than leaving a giant nest egg down for their children, because they think that, well, I raised my children, they're independent, they're taking care of themselves. So again, not every plan, not everybody wants to leave a huge, large lump sum of money to their children, and that's totally fine. If the legacy plan is to help me have the best retirement, well, let's create that legacy. If the legacy is to, pass it to the next generation, well, then we can do that also.
Yeah, or give them the ability to have those experiences with family now, if they want to go on some big international family vacation or whatever, help plan for that. Like that could be, those memories could be part of that legacy that is very, very real and is going to be there forever, living along with your memories, right? But we got a lot more to talk about. We're actually going to go over a real live case, a real life scenario coming up next about a legacy plan here. And before we take a quick break, you're going to notice a QR code right there on your screen. It will be there throughout the show today. All you have to do, take out your phone, scan that at any time. Bradley and Madison can get started on your retirement plan. They'll do it today if you scan the code today, all right? That's free of any cost or any obligation. Stick around, much more Retirement Your Way to come. Welcome back. This is Retirement Your Way. I'm Matt McClure. We really do appreciate you being a part of things this time around. I'm here with Bradley and Madison Harden with AmeriLife of Central Florida, talking all about legacy planning today. And we wanted to share actually a real life scenario that you all have been able to help out with, right? There's a family, we will call them the Williams family because the names are changed to protect the innocent, to protect their identities and all of the above. But we wanted to share this because it really does go a long way toward legacy planning. It's a big part of their particular situation, right?
Right. And so we met these clients years ago, and they were in their upper to mid 80s. And so we knew that they weren't in that beginning phase of retirement. We knew that at some point their legacy was going to transition. So a part of our process is we had meetings with their children, so their adult children in their 50s and 60s, and we wanted to get everything out on the table. So one of the issues we ran into up front was all of their accounts were just spread amongst a lot of different institutions. And so the first thing we did to make it easier for the family when that time came to transition was housing it all under, one team. So that was the first thing. The second thing is we removed any risk. So, in a time of transition, we wanted to make sure that the children got exactly what, their parents had promised them. So we removed the risk. And lastly, when it came time to actually distribute to the children, we explained all the different options that they have. And, unfortunately, both of those clients have passed away, and we are in the process currently of transitioning those assets from the parents to the children. And as Madison said earlier, they don't all live here in the state of Florida. So we've had Zoom calls. They've had to fly in to have these meetings, but ultimately we were able to help make that transition easier from the parents down to the children.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. Not only were their investments scattered around in different places, but the children are as well. I think, living in the Northeast and out West and all these things. And so that adds another kind of wrinkle into the whole process. But it also, to my mind, highlights the fact that you need professional help and guidance throughout this whole situation. And I'm sure that just means the world to this family.
Yeah, and it means a lot to us. We take a lot of pride in being able to help our clients like they're our family members. We have parents and grandparents, and we inevitably will all have to suffer loss at some point. And so it makes us feel good that we're able to help them from not only a business perspective, but just from, being human. It feels good to help other humans. So they're great people, and being able to facilitate the kids and now their kids, so their grandkids, has been, great for us. So I'm sure that it's made their process a little bit easier.
Yeah, taking care of all of the
generations. Yeah,
that's right. And really, that is what it's about when we talk about, and we often use this kind of term on the show, I feel, the holistic kind of approach. A lot of people might say, okay, well, if I go to work with a financial professional, like a team of financial professionals like yourselves, they're only going to be worried about my retirement, or they're only going to be worried about, accumulating funds. They're only going to be worried about retirement income. But it's really is all, part of the same package. And that, preserving that legacy for a family like the Williams family, as we're calling them here, just is, I think, the true definition of that holistic sort of a plan, because you were able to really solve so many different issues for them.
Right. And that's just one example. I can think of another scenario we ran into where we met a widow, and she kind of had things going on everywhere. She had no idea what her accounts were, what the companies were, who the beneficiaries were. She had just kind of inherited all of that. And then it was very overwhelming for her. And we sat down with her and went through every single paper, every file, every letter she had gotten. And it made the world of difference. And her kids actually reached out to us, thanking us for helping get her organized and helping ease her mind, because she wasn't even positive of what all she had. And, what a blessing at the end of the day that you have something to organize, something to leave down. But those are just a few examples of people that we've been able to help.
Yeah. And if you don't even know what you have, how can you plan for it? And that is, it's got to be, a great feeling on your side, as you were saying, that you were able to actually help in that particular scenario and in that situation. And it's what you all do every day. I feel like, a lot of people who say, oh, I'm going to feel intimidated by going to see a financial professional and getting them to look through all of my stuff and all of that. But that just goes to show you there, it can really take a lot of the load off of you and a lot of that, kind of burden that you're having to carry right now. And that is something that I know that we're trying to share on the show here to people who are watching, because, if you want that peace of mind, if you want to be in a better place, not only for your retirement, but for leaving a legacy for future generations, we want you to just take out your phone, scan the QR code that's right there on your screen. Now, that's not the only way that you can get in touch with Bradley and Madison. You can also call the number that you see on the screen, or you can go to the website that's there as well. You can schedule a free consultation, that initial consultation, absolutely free, of any cost or any obligation. All right, stick around. There is much more of Retirement Your Way coming up. Welcome back. This is Retirement Your Way. I'm Matt McClure. Appreciate you sticking around for this portion of the show with Bradley and Madison Harden and myself, of course, because this is, I think, probably my favorite part of the show because we get to kind of have a little fun and still be educational at the same time. This is Right or Wrong. It is our favorite financial game because I get to test their financial know-how and you get to test your own because we encourage you to play along. What's going to happen is I am going to present a statement. I'll just say it as if it's the honest truth. And if that statement is right, then great. If it's wrong, they're going to let me know immediately. All right. It's kind of how it works here. You'll get the hang of it as you go along. See if you can tell whether I'm fibbing or telling the truth in each one of these statements. All right. So number one, this time around, all about kind of legacy planning, as we've been talking about here on the show so far. And number one is this: life insurance can only be used as a death benefit and provides no other features until the policyholder dies.
That is wrong. So, everybody does have that misconception that, this is death insurance. It's only going to pay out when somebody dies. And so that's not the case, where now there are policies that are permanent, then they also build cash value. So later on in life, if you need to use that as tax-free income, you can. And an even more, sophisticated approach would be that cash value can be invested or tied to an index. So therefore, while you're putting money into that bucket, it's growing like it would on the stock market, but also providing no risk. And if you were to die early or prematurely, that death benefit is payable tax-free to your beneficiaries.
So several kind of benefits there within one package, really. It's like not a one-size-fits-all sort of a thing because everybody's situation is different. And obviously the particular policy would be tailored to that person for their needs. One might be right for them, another might be completely wrong for them, that kind of thing. But it could really check a lot of the boxes, in other words, for people.
And in our meetings, that is something that we take pride in doing, is explaining what you currently have. So what type of life insurance do you have? What type of benefit is it going to provide? Who is the beneficiary? And often we see that clients aren't even fully aware of the type of insurance that they have. It may be very old, or they just were unsure of the type that they purchased when they got it. So we try to really educate clients and help them understand what would happen in the case of them passing away.
Yeah. Or it could even be like for pre-retirees, for example, the only type of life insurance they might have would be a group policy through their work or something like that. So yeah, get them set up with something that's going to be more beneficial and provide more value to them in potentially several different ways here. All right, number two in this legacy planning edition of Right or Wrong is this: I can write a will on a napkin and it will be considered a legally binding document.
Technically, that is right, but we do not recommend that.
I kind of knew you were going to say that. That's right.
Yeah, and part of the process when we sit down and meet is going through what is your intention, what is your plan, what would you like to happen upon your passing. I know it's an uncomfortable conversation, but it's one that has to happen.
Yeah, it really is. And it's super important because, not only does it put your mind at ease, if by coming up with a plan for yourself, it also puts your relatives, your loved ones, your kids, grandkids, that sort of thing. It puts their minds at ease as well, because since you look at it so holistically in your business of what you do, you're covering not only the retirement years, but you're also covering, okay, what's going to happen after that? What's going to happen after I'm no longer here and my loved ones are left behind? What are my intentions for that? So it's very, very, very good thing to keep in mind. All right, the next one, number 3 in this edition of Right or Wrong is: the only way for me to leave my heirs a tax-free inheritance is with life insurance.
So that is wrong. And we are seeing a big trend upwards in the Roth IRA conversions for this reason, to be able to leave your heirs your assets tax-free.
Right. In the Roth IRA, again, anything that you put in and any growth inside of that investment is not taxable. Unlike an IRA or a 401k, once you get to a certain age, you have to start taking money out of that And so with Roth IRAs, they don't have that provision, and you're able to keep investing.
Yeah, because the money that goes in, you've already paid the taxes on now, or whenever that money was put in there. You pay that with after-tax money. So you don't reach a certain age, and Uncle Sam's not sitting there being like, okay, show me the money.
Right.
Yeah. All right, one more to go here in this particular edition of our game. It is this. A financial professional can't really help me with an estate plan, just my stocks, bonds, or other investments.
That is wrong. So that is also something that we take a lot of time when we are meeting clients if they already have an estate plan or if we're creating one for the first time. It's not just regarded for people with high dollar estates. It really can benefit anyone. And so we both have parents, we have grandparents, we have kids. So we understand the value in having a proper plan because we can see it from all sides of things.
Right. And whether it's your health care, your extended care needs, your income needs, your legacy planning, we try to give advice on everything, not just what should my investments be doing and how should they be positioned. And many times we meet with the children of our clients to make sure they know who to call in that uncertain time, or when that time does come to pass.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people might hear that term estate plan and think, oh, I have to live in some big mansion somewhere to be able to do it. No, it's just important that no matter what you have, no matter how much you have, or any of those things, that you have a plan for it. And that really is kind of the bottom line, folks, is you need a plan. And I know a couple of people who can help you get one. If you don't have a plan, scan that QR code that's on the bottom of your screen, and they'll be happy to get it started for you right now. And by them, I mean Bradley and Madison Harden with AmeriLife of Central Florida. All right, stick around, folks. We're going to be back with more of the show right after this. This is Retirement Your Way with AmeriLife of Central Florida. Thank you so much for being a part of the show throughout the proceedings today. I really do appreciate your time because you could be doing anything. And the fact that you are watching us here on the old TV screen really does mean a whole lot. So thank you very, very much. I am Matt McClure here alongside Bradley and Madison Harden from AmeriLife of Central Florida. We've covered a lot of territory on the show today, talked about a lot of very important things. And about some difficult, as we set up in the beginning, some difficult conversations to have, but very important conversations to have when it comes to planning for a legacy. What would you say, either one of you, is the most important, or kind of one of the most important, at least, overriding themes, the thing that you want people to, if they don't remember anything else from watching this half hour of TV, the one thing that you really want to drive home for folks?
We just want to emphasize the importance of having a plan, whether that is a plan for retirement, a plan through retirement, or a plan after retirement. It helps everything go a lot smoother. And so creating a plan, legacy plan, you want to make sure that what you intended to have happen gets carried out. So I know a phrase we like to mention is, do your intentions match your actions? And so if you intend on your family receiving an inheritance or the children getting the house, is that written down? Is that in a plan? And if so, is there somebody helping you get that plan from point A to point Z?
Exactly. Not even point B. You got to go all the way through the alphabet. But it's very important because we're talking obviously about end of life issues in many ways today, and having that illustration be the end of the alphabet is very appropriate. And you talk about it being getting you to retirement, getting you through retirement, getting you after retirement. A lot of it, and we've mentioned this before, but a lot of it is the fact that all of these things, and these different phases, or these things that might seem like they're not related, are really all related, right? Because if you have a plan to take care of yourself, then the kids, the grandkids, don't have to worry about you nearly as much. They know that you're going to be taken care of. So then you've planned for your life, and then you can work on planning for theirs and what's going to happen after you're gone.
Exactly. And even if you've already made that initial plan, it's important to regularly review it and make sure that it's up to date, that your beneficiaries are up to date and all the information is correct. And, things change as we grow and evolve in life. So it's important to take those regular maintenance visits, as we say, and get a fresh set of eyes, even if you've already worked with someone in the past, just to see if a new approach may benefit you. And we take great pride in being able to help our clients, and a lot of them, because they live in Central Florida, may have relocated away from family or from those people that would be assisting them with these sorts of things. So we really put a high value on being able to be just one phone call away to help people with those difficult times, like you mentioned.
Yeah, they really are, difficult, as we say, conversations to have and all of that, but super, super important. And, when people do reach out maybe for that initial consultation, do you find that that's, do people often bring that up? It's like, okay, what's going to happen after I'm gone? Or is it one of those things that you kind of have to dig in a little bit and be like, okay, have you planned for this? Because they tend to be difficult.
Right. And it's definitely something that we have to kind of get out. We have to have that conversation because anything can happen at any time. And like Madison said, having those regularly scheduled maintenance visits, something as simple as, oh, well, my son moved or my daughter moved or they got remarried. And, those things need to be addressed and updated on a regular basis because, again, we don't know what can happen and when that will happen.
Right. And clients aren't regularly thinking about those things like we probably are, but we've been doing this every day and have a combined 17 years of experience. So luckily, those are the things that we think about and we enjoy doing it. So we would love to use this platform to reach a whole new audience of people and expand our horizon also.
Yeah, it's, if the fact is, knowledge is power. You both lead with education, as we've been saying, in your meetings with folks and your initial consultations. The QR code is right there at the bottom of your screen. If you would like to reach out for one, that initial consultation, just to kind of wrap everything up in a nice little bow here, is of course free of any cost, free of any obligation. And Bradley and Madison are very good at sitting down and getting to know you, getting to know your situation, getting to know what your needs, your wants, your desires are. So scan that QR code. As I say, it's at the bottom of your screen. You could also go to the website or call the phone number. Any of those methods that you'd like to get in touch with them, get in touch with them and set that up so you can get a plan for your life and for what happens after your life as well. Well, Bradley, Madison, thank you both so much for being a part of things as always, and we'll look forward to doing it again.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. And thank you for being a part of the show as well today. We'll see you right back here next time for more Retirement Your Way.
The preceding program was sponsored by AmeriLife of Central Florida.